Hi, welcome to New Jersey Wedding Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We are your hosts, Andrea Pertel and Celia Milton, and we are both professional wedding officiants located here in the state of New Jersey. And if you are planning your wedding in New Jersey or elsewhere, this podcast is for you. And thanks so much for joining us. How you doing
Yeah.
today, Celia?
I'm like frozen like everybody else in New Jersey is.
So
It's
cold.
God, it is so cold and so snowy. And
Uh-huh. I think it's
we're just
going down to 15
oh,
tonight.
that's great.
Uh,
Oh, that yeah,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can make ice like on your back porch.
I
That's
know.
just terrific. I know.
I did an elopement in my cozy home office today,
Oh,
and one
nice.
of the witnesses, as we were signing after the ceremony, as we were signing the paperwork and taking pictures, she went outside, and she's
Oh,
standing outside on her phone talking, and I was like, "Why is she outside? She can come in and talk." And the other lady said she's talking to her plumber. Her heating went out last night.
oh
Could you
no.
imagine? Oh, thank goodness
Oh,
my heat is working. I feel sorry for anybody whose system might be on the fritz because it is cold.
I think that just like hearing about it being cold, like I'm not even this big in real life. I have like 10 layers of
I,
clothing on. I can't even bend my arms. It's like, oh my gosh. But you know what? People are getting married and it's kind of cool. We have like a bunch of
yeah.
elopements this week and
Yeah,
you know, I
yeah. It's been
we don't
great. It's
yeah,
that winter time, winter
yeah.
weddings and winter elopements. It's really cool.
I know. It's great.
Today,
And
oh, I'm sorry.
fun to have if you're thinking about getting married and maybe you're going to have a big ceremony later, or a big party later, but maybe you need to get married kind of like now or you want to get married like now. How great is it to have like your anniversary be in the winter when nothing else is going on? Isn't that like great?
Exactly.
I
It
know, I
really
kind of
has
love it.
become more common to get
Yeah.
married before your big wedding, to have
Yes.
what we call an elopement
Yep.
um, before your big wedding. I know that going to like the registrar, the clerk out in
Hmm.
Europe is
Yeah, you have to.
normal. You do that before
Yeah.
your big wedding, and it's becoming more normal here. And people do it for a lot of reasons, just like you said, just to have the anniversary, just to be married beforehand. And now they can relax and work on the details of their wedding,
Yeah, without
of their
having that
party.
happen. I
Yeah,
kind of
and
like
then
it.
they can combine health insurance, and they could be
Yeah.
some money saving factors that help you budget for your wedding.
For the big party. I know. You know what? It's way beyond 20 years ago you did everything in like the quote unquote right order. But
Right.
now,
Yeah.
you
You
do
make
what
it
you need
fit.
to do, you
Yeah,
know?
you make it fit. Well, we are going to discuss today. We're talking about you're engaged, what's next? And this is part three. Part one, we talked about the pre-planning and
Yep.
how you celebrate your engagement. And it's time to talk to Hack My Honeymoon and Bridal Lawyer and all of
Yeah.
that. And then we talked about setting your budget, discussing your vision as a couple, creating your guest list, choosing your date or your timeline, and booking your venue was where we
Yes.
left off. So now that you've booked your venue, the next thing is booking your key vendors, because you have
Right.
to have your venue and your date and venue to be able to book other vendors.
Right.
They need to know the date and location. So prioritize, high demand vendors, which I think photographers, videographers might be at the top of that list.
Yeah, I think so. And you may have been at a wedding and you saw like the dance floor was like cranking and that's what you want. You may have looked at your friends' wedding pictures. It's like that's exactly what we had in mind. And call us. You may have seen a fabulous ceremony and thought,
Right.
"Wow, that would be the best thing ever if I could have that person do it." Yeah. But you know
Right.
what? You're kind of never too early with those things because I'm finding and you're finding and we talk to a lot of vendors just kind of casually. It's like people are working on a shorter time frame.
Yes.
And where maybe 10 years ago it's like, okay, well, you don't have to book your officiant until like, 3 months ahead of time. I'm booking 2026 now, and I'm sure you are too. So,
Right.
I think there's a certain beauty to, it's like we know we need these things, let's book them, and then we can get back to like being in our regular life. We don't have to
Right,
talk
right.
about videographers every day, you
So you
know?
may want to prioritize your booking your key vendors by number
Right.
one, a vendor you know you love because
Yes.
you heard them at a band or a DJ.
You saw
You
them.
heard a
Yeah.
beautiful ceremony and you're like, I want Celia to do my wedding. You saw a beautiful
Right.
photography or a great video and you want that particular person. So
Hmm.
that's your top one. If you don't have any top ones, I think photographer and videographer is very important. That's
Absolutely.
probably at the top of your budget. Caterer, if it's not provided by your venue. So, caterer, I mean, the food is important. If it comes with your venue, then great. You don't have to worry
Right.
about it. But if you need to hire a caterer, especially if you have certain types of food you like,
Right.
then that might be the next thing because that's very important. And
Right.
then entertainment, DJ or a band. If you have a band you like, that you need to contact them. There's a lot of great DJs too, you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah.
And then florists. There are a lot of great florists too. And I tell everybody we look at our season 4 and 5. We have interviewed so many great vendors in all these
Yeah.
categories. And you can hear, quick 15-minute interviews with them, hearing them talk about their passion and what they
Yeah. And
provide. It's
you
a
get a
great
sense
resource.
of, you get a sense of like who they are and why they do what they do. That when we talk to people on our interviews, they're not sales conversations per se. You'll
Mhm.
find out why did these people like how did they decide that they wanted to be a florist? How did they leave like the finance industry and one day I think I'm going to be, oh, I don't know, a wedding photographer.
Yeah.
They're kind of fascinating, and I don't know that those backstories really always make it to a conversation with a potential couple that is sitting in front of you. It's
Right.
really kind of interesting.
I will tell you some advice that people talk about when choosing some of these key vendors is with photographers, with any of them, you don't want to just go by social media posts because
No,
let's
absolutely
face it,
not.
we only post the best.
Of
Okay, so
course, I know.
ask to see their entire like a photographer to see their portfolio of one wedding from beginning to end. Also caterers, you can always taste the food. That's a wonderful thing, and the same thing, DJ and band. If you have a certain type of music, you want to make sure there's different. Think about what type of DJ you want. There are the non-traditional DJs that are all about just music and their music catalog and matching it to yours and keeping the dance floor going. And
Mhm.
then there are the MCs, the ones that
Yeah.
are, and so not everybody wants that MC thing
Right.
happening.
Right. I know like, we talked to Bob from Fantasy DJs.
Mhm.
Bob, like in season, posts the actual photograph of his playlist that he's doing at people's weddings. And you can see just how esoterically, how they're put together. It's like, this is like really cool. It's not like the
Right.
same 5 songs that you hear at every wedding.
Yeah.
And, I would say, give yourself time. If you've got once you've got your venue together and you've got that under control, you really should start talking to other people because then you're not like under the gun.
Mhm.
You've got like, okay, well, we're not getting married until next year. Great. So you have more time to
Yeah.
really spend talking to people. Listen, we love to talk to people, and you have more time to ask your questions and really feel like you're heard and the things, maybe you're dealing, with, I always think, of course, of the ceremony. Maybe one of you is Catholic and one of you is Muslim. And, you're thinking about how are you going to blend this all together. You want to give yourself a little bit of time to let those conversations marinate. So you're like, oh, That was really good. Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that
Yeah.
like makes sense. And
Well,
for all your pros, you know?
right. Make a list. And I think it's important to for all your pros to be professional, not the friend
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
that has some equipment in his basement and is going to do a Spotify
No,
video.
absolutely not. No.
This person with the nice camera. I think professionals are important, and just take your time and write down your questions. Again, go back to that vision. Um, Photography, videography, what's our vision? What type of photography
Yeah.
do we like? There's all different kinds. Caterer, what type of food? Entertainment, what type? Do we want a band or a DJ? Do we want MC or non-traditional? And
Yeah.
florist, where are you having your wedding? Do you want to make sure the florist is gonna uh, it's going to be on the beach. How are you going to make the flowers stay? You write those questions. Now you have your questions. You're ready to interview
Hmm.
people. And you talk about giving yourself time. I do want to say that we call this engagement season right now because a lot of
Right.
couples got engaged over the holidays,
Hmm.
Christmas, New Year's, and the next wave happens in February. And I can guarantee you by April, the hot dates are booked. Okay,
Yeah.
so
No, it's true. It's
you might
true.
want to get ahead of that next
Yeah.
engagement rush.
Yeah, but it's so cool too to like, you've made some great choices and then you can just kind of like relax and
Right.
it's not like, if you
Enjoy the
book.
rest of the process, right?
Yeah, it's not like, okay, you book us and we're not going to talk to you for 8 months. It's like, I mean, with us, you're probably at some point you need to get a license and
Yeah.
you're not going to know how to do that.
Been there.
And you're going to call us and we're going to help you. At some point you're going to need to, you're going to be thinking about like, what is your first dance going to be like? Or how are you going to get down the aisle? You know
Yeah.
what? We love talking to people and your DJ is going to love talking to you. And, everybody that you're working with, we
Right.
thrive on communication because then we know more
Passionate.
about you and we can make sure it's right, you know?
Right. So I'm great. I'm so glad that you brought us up because you've booked your key vendors. You know what style and what photographer, caterer, entertainment, florist you're going to have. And
Mhm.
now it's time to find your professional wedding officiant. And you should find a professional who aligns with your vision and values for your ceremony. And we talk to so many different vendors and venues, and
Yeah.
it's now time to talk about ourselves and
Hmm.
why hiring a professional officiant for your wedding is so important because it ensures that your ceremony is going to be personal,
Right.
seamless, legally binding.
Right.
There's so many compelling reasons to choose a professional. I mean, we can start with your personalized ceremony. And you already talked about it a little bit about if you come from two different faiths. Yeah, don't stress. We got this. We know how to merge them together.
We've done it before. Uh-huh. We've done it. But I think that, and it's funny. I talked to a florist this morning who's going to be a guest in a couple weeks. And, people think that on that day, they're going to have unlimited time to like figure things out.
Mhm.
And, you you don't. You don't have unlimited time. You have X amount of time and you want to spend it being the wedding couple.
Mhm.
And, don't give yourself another job. Don't be like, oh, we have like 500 bud vases. So somebody's got to find the water and fill them. Okay. It's like your cousin Fred, you've given yourself another job because your cousin Fred has no idea how to
Mm-mm.
write a ceremony. They don't know what is legal. I'm sure you do too. I get like the weirdest questions, like
Yeah.
pretty much on a daily basis. It's like, well, one of us has a birth certificate, one of us doesn't. One of us is divorced. We have no idea what to do next.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we know what to tell. You don't have to worry about
Uh-huh.
this.
Plus,
Don't, yeah,
your guests are coming to see you guys get married. They're not coming to see cousin Fred
right.
at
Yeah.
his first
The first Christmas
theatrical
pageant.
performance, his
Yeah.
first pageant, and he has the role of officiant. So a professional officiant knows how we're experienced. We know
Yeah.
how to include any special rituals, cultural traditions, or religious elements. So we know how to do that. or if you're looking for ways to include your children, include your mother,
Yeah,
loved
your
ones who have
dogs, your
passed, both
yeah,
my mom, both my dad and my stepfather, your dog. We know how to do all of that, and to seamlessly put it in your ceremony.
right.
We have experience and we have confidence,
Yep.
poise, confidence. We know what to do under unexpected circumstances. We've been
Yes.
there for it all. We've been there for the
Yes.
rain in the middle of it. We've been there for the ring that got lost in the
Right.
stand when the photographer was trying to take pictures, the kids screaming down the aisle, the flowers that didn't get delivered
Yeah.
for the rose ceremony. We've the experience. We know what to do. We are cool and collected, and we got this. Not a
And you know what?
problem.
And we have stolen roses out of centerpieces.
Yep.
There's really, I feel like a lot of how much fun you're going to have on your wedding day is how little you have to worry
Yeah.
about the other people around you. And
Exactly. And
if
you
you,
also touched base on the fact that we have legal expertise. Now, it has become so important to fill out and sign this marriage license properly.
oh
The
yeah,
powers to be in Trenton are kicking everything back. They are
yeah,
not accepting um, uh, things not filled out correctly, sloppy writing, not filed in within the manner. We have a certain amount of days that we have to file it by. If it is not professionally done, they are kicking it back.
they are not happy
It,
about it. And
it
it
is
doesn't,
heavy, and if it's not filed, you're not married.
well, you kind of are married, but it might take you 6 months to get your license.
Yeah, true.
And you need
True.
that, you need to have if you want to change your name or you have health insurance issues, there's a wealth of reasons people get married besides the fact, hopefully that you absolutely love each other.
Right.
But you need to have that license for things and you don't want to be waiting for months. No,
Right.
you do
Right.
not. Nope, 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 nope. It's like so unglamorous to talk about that stuff, but
I know,
you know,
but it's important. I mean,
but
it's
it
so
is important.
important, and it's and then also a professional wedding officiant um, can customize. So, unlike a one size fits all ceremony,
Yeah.
the professional can tailor your script, your vows, structure it to your preferences, help you craft a meaningful and memorable experience. And unlike your brother-in-law that might be doing it, it's not a best man speech. It's not a
Right.
I knew the couple wins speech. It's about the couple. It's not about the person who is officiating it. It is about the couple. And we also do a professional presentation. And this is the thorn in my side. I talk about this a lot. A, a seasoned, experienced officiant knows how to set the right tone, use their voice effectively,
Right.
engage your guests, and ensure the ceremony feels polished and professional. And what I mean is if you have a friend doing it and they're nervous and they're reading off of a piece of paper, how many pictures have you seen where the couple are standing like 8 feet apart with their hands
Yep.
down on their side and they're looking scared and nervous? No, move in, stand across from each other, hold hands. Don't worry, you don't have to tell us. Be sure and remember to tell the guests to be seated. Well, of course, I'm going to tell them to be seated because I'm
Right.
going to make eye contact with them when I welcome them and when I thank them
Yeah.
for joining us. I'm not
Yeah.
looking at the piece of paper petrified, just looking and
Yeah,
reading.
what do I do next?
I
I know it's
realize
yeah.
that they're still standing. We know we don't. I don't want to be told not to be in the kiss. We got this.
Yeah,
I know
we're
when to
not there.
step out for
Yeah.
the vows but also we make you feel comfortable. And so let's go back a few steps. Your budget, your photographer, your
Mm,
videographer. You've spent money on this. Don't you want good pictures of your ceremony?
absolutely. Well, and the thing too, we were talking about this the other day. It's like if you have, the average wedding now has a lot of vendors. And if one of them is your friend, whether it's the officiant, whether it's, your cousin who DJs at a bar, oh God, whether, it's that friend that has a great camera, you know what?
Yeah.
Pictures happen fast at weddings. Everybody else who's a professional at your wedding needs to babysit the person who isn't.
Right. And they're
And
getting sick of it. I tell you
and
what.
that, yes, they
They're
are.
getting tired of it. It's almost like I don't get paid to do this.
Yep.
The banquet managers, the
Right.
photographers, they're like, oh, when we show up, how many of them have said to you, Celia, oh, thank
Thank
goodness.
God it's you.
Oh, and they
Yes.
all have a story about the last two
I
weddings
know.
they did where,
I
the
know.
friend,
It's true.
and the friend like y- you don't want the bridesmaid with the low cut dress there
Mhm.
or the groomsmen with the wearing some weird hat. You're not supposed to take away from the couple.
You know what? Have your cousin do a reading. Your
Yes.
cousin does not want to do your wedding. They're terrified. Public speaking after death is the number two thing that freaks people out.
Yeah.
So, like, have us come and do it. And then, if you want your cousin to do a reading, fantastic. That's fine. We're not like control. Yeah, we are control. I take that back because I am really a control freak. But, if you have a person who's special to you and you think it would be nice for the people at your wedding to see them, up there and telling a story or, an anecdote or something, it's like, that's fine. But they really probably don't want to do this, and they're like saying yes because they want to be nice.
Yeah, yeah. And so on that
Mm.
note, we work well with others because
We
the truth
do. We
is,
try.
once you've handpicked all these different vendors, right? The photographer, the
Mm.
DJ, the this, the that, the florist. Guess what? We probably know each other.
Yeah, we
We've
probably
all
do.
worked before. We become your wedding team. We know how to work with them,
Yeah.
and it's seamlessly. So
Yep.
we all become your wedding team. We work well with others.
Yeah. And
That's
you know what?
important.
Everybody's going to be more relaxed. You're going to be relaxed because when you get there, we know what's going on.
Yeah.
We've touched base with you. You've got a script, you have a playlist, you've probably talked to your photographer about, a good photographer isn't even going to need a shot list beyond, what people they may not know. You're going to you're going to be happy because like everybody's going to know what to do next. So you can just enjoy being at your own wedding, which
Right.
is
You
like
could
so
just
much better.
immerse
Yeah.
yourself in it,
Yeah. It's just like,
relax,
here I
and have the
am,
peace of mind, and it's going to show in your pictures. And
Absolutely.
also, we always say this, Celia, right? Your
Yep.
ceremony is the start of your day. It sets the
Yep.
tone for it. And
Absolutely.
and you
Yeah.
walk back down that aisle for the first time as husband and wife, and you're heading off into cocktail hour or wherever,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, that was great.
That was
Now
great.
let's celebrate this.
That was great. I know. It's just so much more relaxing to pick people who are real good at this.
Yeah.
And yeah. And everybody you pick, you want to pick a venue that's good at what they do and photographers who are gonna, you don't have to give them a shot list because they know that they need to take a picture of you and your maid of honor. Okay? They know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They might just want to some names of the family members you want to make sure to get.
yeah, and you've got like if you've
They
got,
got
it's the communication with your vendors, good vendors are going to welcome that communication. They're not going to think you're being bossy and weird. They're going to be like happy that they have your input. And when you get there that day, you're going to be comfortable because everybody's on the same page. And none of us have to babysit anybody, which is
yeah.
great. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going to be great.
I think
And then we can like progress on to the next part of this, which is well, we shouldn't do that. Getting your license and like doing that kind of last minute stuff. So,
yeah. Yeah. So that's I think that's good for this segment.
yeah, I think
Take
so
a look at
too.
your key vendors. Time to book your key vendors and choose your professional wedding officiant. And shameless plug. I'm down by the Jersey Shore, kind of near the Asbury Park, Spring Lake, Point Pleasant Beach area, but travel everywhere. Celia is up in North Halden.
That's North New Jersey, North, and sometimes if I'm in the right kind of mood, New York State. We have some beautiful places in New York State that really are not that far away from New Jersey. So,
And if you call me and you're not, and I am too far away to make sense, I'm going to recommend somebody probably that I really like in that area that I know that's available.
Right.
Celia,
Okay, we'll
Michael,
get
Carrie. We
we'll,
have
we'll
some
get you
good
covered.
resources.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get you covered. You know, and
Yeah.
listen, if you come to us and you don't have music, listen, our preferred list on Benable
Sustainable.
is a great list. There are wonderful people on there, and we can pretty much whatever you need. I know you need a bagpiper, you need like doves, we can find it for you. It's like not a problem. Yep.
We got that. And we have some great wedding planners too that can help find
Oh,
you
God,
the
we have
best
great
fit for
planners.
everything.
Yeah, we
So
do.
so I
Yeah.
encourage everyone to follow and share. And you can really you can go to the podcast on like Spotify or Apple or any and
Mhm.
see all of our episodes, or just go to our website, browse our website, NewJerseyWeddingPodcast.com, and you can see all of our episodes and just click on
Yeah,
them. And so
yeah,
you can listen to photographers, venues, and start your planning.
that's right. You know what? Your venue might be there, and if your venue isn't there, then you should let them know that they should be there, and we'll talk to them. Yeah,
Right, right. And if you have any questions, we want to hear from you. If you have
yeah,
questions
totally.
or advice, go ahead and send us an email. Everything's
Yeah.
there on the website, or message us on social media. We never share your information.
Nope.
We just answer your questions or share your advice.
Yep. And you join a community of like-minded people who are planning their weddings too, which is
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a really fun time. It's a
That's right.
really wonderful time in
It
your
should
life.
be fun. The stress gets to be gone. I promise you, it does go away when you get the right people in place. You've got a great venue and you've got people that you love to work with. And it's just going to be, it's great. That stress does melt away once you get everybody in place. You're like, oh, this is going to be great. And it is going to be great. You know?
So we've covered the first three, and we have at least one more
Oh,
on
at least,
what
yeah.
to do
Well, probably,
next.
oh, yeah,
We
easily.
got to pick out dresses and attire, but
Oh, yeah,
we'll
that's
talk about
true.
that next time. All
Okay, cool. Oh, we
right.
have great dress people on our,
Tell
yeah,
you
we have,
what,
oh, they're,
right?
yeah, great dress people on Benable. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us today, and congratulations on your engagement.
And stay warm. Bye.
This podcast is brought to you by New Jersey wedding officiant Andrea Pertel, owner of For This Joyous Occasion Officiating Services.
And Celia Milton, owner of NJ Vows Now, also New Jersey wedding officiating services. We're up in North Jersey, and Andrea is down in Central and South Jersey. So together we cover the whole state, don't we?
Yes, yes.